easier because the barriers to entry are easier and the maintenance of businesses is easier, backed by technology. And being an entrepreneur often doesn't have to, but can lend itself to flexibility on the work-life balance. You could more easily start your own business and determine when you want to work, how much you want to work, what terms you want to work under, who you want to work with, who you want to avoid, and so on. And it seems to me that females are attracted to that because they have a lot of priorities that they juggle in their lives. There's a lot of households that are headed by single women, and if you're an entrepreneur, it often is a little easier to juggle that single parent lifestyle if you have an entrepreneurial business where you have flex time and hours. You could dial up your work intensity, you could dial it down, you could work at night, that kind of thing. And so I think that is what is helping drive women to entrepreneurship, because they still, as much as they want to compete and be successful in the business world, there are other things that are important to them. Could be a spouse, loved one, they're taking care of their parents, their children, exercising, living a healthy life with mind and body. And so I think that is part of what's driving entrepreneurship, because classically, if you go work for a big corporation, even though they've come a long way with flex time and not punching a card like you did in generations past, it's still way more rigid than the entrepreneurship world. I know for myself, I've enjoyed that. My son is in 8th grade, and I've coached him in youth football since he was in kindergarten, and this was the last year, and I was able to rearrange my business life to accommodate me coaching, and it's so valuable I was able to do that, Monique, because this is my last chance. He's my youngest. It's my last chance to coach, to spend the time with him and his friends on the sidelines, and it was such a rewarding experience. And you can do that if you work for corporate America, but I think by and large it's easier when you're an entrepreneur and a small business owner. So that's my thesis. What do you think?
I absolutely agree. So
Okay,
I absolutely agree that that's why women go into business in a lot of cases. So when I talk about passion, a lot of times our family is our passion, right?
Yes.
Our work is our passion. It's not like we want to necessarily change the world. Sometimes the world is our own household, right? And so I think we're saying very, very similar things. You said it in a different way with a little different context, right? In that we as women do want more time to create more balance. We do want more time flexibility, right? So entrepreneurship is going up so that we can, pick the kids up from school at 3:00, take them to their dance lesson, or whatever it is that we want to be able to do. So I absolutely think that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
So you help coach women, especially in the realm of real estate investing. And so when you think about the women that you've come across, that you've helped, what do you think are some of the barriers that women have that slow down or hurt their chances of being successful? I know they're all individuals, different backgrounds, everybody has their own struggles, but there's usually some commonality. And what do you often see as you're coaching women, helping them to be successful, blissful, especially when it pertains to real estate?
Yeah, I think there seems to be a hesitancy to take action. And that is not true for everybody, as you say, but I think the thing that I run up against the most is the confidence to go after a decision that they've made, or to even make that decision. Like sometimes it's a lot easier to just keep analyzing and get analysis paralysis, right? You can learn, you can study, But until you take action, nothing actually happens. And so that's the thing that I run up against the most with my ladies is just actually getting out there and doing something, not having the intention, not having the great idea, not having the knowledge, but to actually go out and implement. And the thing is about this is true for everybody in every industry. When you take that first step, you are not going to know everything, and you are not going to know even enough. You can study as much as you want, but until you actually get your feet wet, you're not going to learn what the water feels like.
Yeah.
You have to actually get in there, right, and start taking steps, start taking action, and be okay with learning along the way. That's how we do everything in life. That's how we are born. We're not born learning to walk, talk, read, hang out with people. We have to learn all of those things along the way. We didn't get to stay in the womb our whole lives till we were perfect and we knew everything, right? And so we gotta do that. We gotta take those first steps. And so that's the biggest piece that I run into, and it's my biggest piece of advice. Get enough information to get you started, but get started, and be okay with the adventure of learning along the way.
Very good. So my daughter is 19. She's in college, and she's studying business, and she's learning a lot. She has her first internship starting this upcoming semester, and so this will be her first foray into the business world. Now, she's worked, but, hostess at a restaurant, and she's helped here at the office at Elliott Wealth Management. In fact, she's here today. And so she's gotten some business experience, but she's in her, her dad's company, and my wife, her mom, works here. This is going to be a little different. Her first foray into the white-collar business world on her own. What advice do you give her?
Pay attention.
Well, I actually got you to. That was a good pause. That must have been a good question.
That was a good question. For me, I would say have a belief in yourself that you can do it. The thing that I see most with new people going out there is that they're so afraid to do things wrong that they won't do things, right? They won't put their powerful selves forward. And so just be confident in yourself that you can do it and that you're really good at what you do. And be excited. Stay excited. That's the other thing that I see with a lot of people starting off in the business world is they go out there and then they get disillusioned really quickly because it's not what they expected. Stay resilient, stay excited, and keep looking for those opportunities for growth for yourself.
All right, that's good. I'll make sure she listens to hopefully this whole episode because you're a terrific guest and this has been a wonderful discussion, but especially this part. My advice to her, and I think it would be the same if it was my son, is the most important thing in this experience is that you learn as much as possible. And when I say that, at first glance, you might be thinking learn as much as you can about the particular business or how the job is done or, how the financials are reported or how the website is designed. That's part of it. But learn about the culture, how people treat each other, how decisions are made, how important it is to show up on time. It's a very expansive definition, and that's the most important thing, whether she likes it or not, whether it's something she thinks she could see herself doing as a career or not, but just to learn as much about through the experience and come away with a lot of learning is what I think is by far the most important thing. And hopefully she has a great experience. But even if she doesn't and she rules some things out because she realizes those are not either what she wants to do or the type of people she wants to associate with, that's a great learning experience as well. So that's my advice to her.
I love that. I do have something I'd love to add, if you don't mind.
Please.
It is my belief that how we do anything is how we do everything. So there are a lot of people that take their first job, they realize it's not going to be the place that they want to be for the rest of their life, and they start to slack off because they're like, oh, it doesn't really matter, right? This is boring. This is not my career. It doesn't really matter. And you start to work as if it doesn't really matter. And the reality is that if you become an it doesn't really matter person, you are going to take those same work ethics, those same ideas, values, and beliefs wherever you go. It's going to start showing up in all areas of your life, and it will show up in your next job. So the key is no matter where you are, you know, whether you're a hostess or you're in corporate America, be your best you. You show up with your values, your work ethic, and you build those skills and you build yourself so that as you move to the next career, the next job, whatever it is, that you're taking a better version of yourself with you.
That is outstanding. Thank you for that. That's a great add-on. As we kind of wrap up, before we started recording, you had mentioned that 2020, again, we're recording this in the early days of 2020, that you have some important big initiatives this year. We mentioned the book that's going to be coming out that I'm going to be reading. And the other big item is you're doing a female real estate investing conference, I think in March of this year. Is that right, in California?
It is, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's called the Real Estate Investing for Women Summit, and it's actually going to be virtual. I was originally going to do it live, but the room was only going to hold 100 people. There were a lot of things about it that made me feel really limited, and I do not like to be limited, and I don't want my ladies to be limited either. So I've decided to do a live event workshop, but virtual style, so that many more people can have access to it. I can reach a lot more people, uplift and empower a lot more women. But we are doing it workshop style. It's not a regular summit where you can kind of listen to a recording. You know, they come in one every day. It's going to be actually a 2-day event. So that's going to be on March 14th and 15th. Like I say, we're going to talk about, it's going to be like a workshop. So we're going to start by talking about bliss and what that looks like for you and how you can have that and how real estate fits into that. Then we're going to pick strategies that will work. We're going to do some goal setting. We're going to talk about how to get financing. We're going to talk about what exactly this means for your life and for your future and what your resources are. And I'm also going to help people to embed whatever goals they set during the event into their future so that they're pulled kind of magically towards them on autopilot. So it's going to be this amazing life transformational event. It's 2 days. Men can attend, but it is, again, with a women's focus and a real estate focus. So that's what we're doing, and we are doing it virtually. And to find out more about that, it's at blissfulinvestor.com/event. So that's blissfulinvestor.com/event.
Great. Our listeners should definitely check that out. And Moneeka, I was so excited about our discussion, and it was even better than I hoped for. So thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Chris. This was lovely to chat with you again.
Beautiful. Well, you have a great 2020. Good luck with these important initiatives, and we'll catch up together soon.
Sounds awesome. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.
The views expressed are not necessarily the opinion of SagePoint Financial Incorporated and should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risks, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Please note, the information being provided is strictly as a courtesy. When you link to any of the websites provided here, you are leaving this website. We make no representation as to the completeness or accuracy of the information provided at these websites, nor is the company liable for any direct or indirect technical or system issues or any consequences arising out of your access to your use of third-party technologies, websites, information, and programs made available through this website. When you access one of these websites, you are leaving our website and assume total responsibility and risk for your use of the website